Hey, it's Meredith, Elliott, Powell, and yes, it is Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, time for your favorite show, Sales Logic. I am here with my co-host, Mark Hunter. Hey, Mark, welcome to Saturday morning and welcome to Talking Sales.
Good morning. Saturday mornings are not complete without Sales Logic. So, hey, let's have some fun, right?
Let's do it. You want me to go ahead and roll the?
Sure. Why not? Why not? Let's get into it because it's a great
prospect
topic.
With integrity, we will get customers who have integrity. Integrity is the foundation from which everything is built on.
You better understand value. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business.
This is Sales Logic.
It is Sales Logic. So again, welcome Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Welcome to Sales Logic, the show where we dive into the strategies, discuss the steps, everything that you need to know to even be more effective at sales. I'm here with my co-host, Mark Hunter. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. And it's been a big week. Hey, you had your book launch this week of Thrive, and it's doing absolutely terrific. I did do a little sneak on Amazon this morning and saw you're up to 26 reviews. You got a lot of people liking the book. It's great.
Yeah, it has really come out of the gate strong, even stronger than I'd hoped. So pretty excited about it. But have you had a good week?
I've had a great week, and I'll tell you what, it's amazing how things continue to pick up more and more. I mean, it really is amazing as things, there's still a lot of wiggles and shakes out there in the economy, but it's looking bright.
Yeah, I think things are looking good. Mark, we are headed into what I know are but probably yours as well, favorite 2 quarters of the year, a third and fourth. And we've got something special on tap for third and fourth quarter. Why don't you tell our listeners about it?
Well, yeah, what we've done is we have a mastermind group where you get to mastermind with Meridith and myself every month through now and the end of the year. And it really is an opportunity for you to up your game and to make sure that you make the last 2 quarters of the year and set yourself up for a strong 2022. So, hey, we want you to get registered. We want you to get enrolled in it. Jump out to saleslogicpodcast.com. You'll see the link there and get registered.
Yeah. Oops. I'm having a little bit of trouble this morning. Jacqueline, I'm so glad you are here. Thank you so much on the book. Super excited about it and really glad you're here with us this morning. But let's go ahead and dive into the show. I'm just going to go ahead and do an overview of how the show works, and then Mark's going to tell you what we've got on tap for today. Please always remember, as the audience, you are a part of this show. We love when that comment box goes wild. So if you put something up there, we'll not only address it, but we'll give you a little bit of stage time as well. Every week, we go live with Sales Logic, and we split the show into 4 parts. Number 1 is we always have a topic, a really relevant topic. We take a question from you, the audience. So if you ever have a question, please go to saleslogicpodcast.com or simply put it out there on social media, #SalesLogic. We cover a book that we think you need to be reading. And last but not least, because we want you to get return on investment, we do a lightning round, those key takeaways that you can have to really put some things into action.
Well, with that, let me jump into the topic. The topic today is qualities and strategies sales leaders and salespeople need to thrive in uncertain times. And it is certainly uncertain times. We got a question and a book. Okay, let's do the question, because John from Boston writes, we're in the transportation industry and have been in business about 40 years. I thought we were diversified. I see where this is going. As we serve the college market, tourists, professional sports, weddings, etc. But when COVID hit, I learned not a single industry we were in was safe. Is there something else I could be doing to protect my company from uncertainty or forces outside of my control? What other markets should I be directing my salespeople to? And I'll tell you what, you can put almost any business into this equation, because at least minimally, part of your business was absolutely impacted because of COVID. And what are the lessons learned from it? So jump in, Meredith, some ideas.
Well, first, I want to say thank you, Glenda. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you so much on the congratulations. We're excited about it as well. Mark, I love this question. When I saw it come across the wire, I was really excited about it because this is the pressure of uncertainty, right? There, you as a business do everything you're supposed to do. You didn't count on just travel and tourism. You didn't count just on the college market. You were so clear to diversify all the different areas you were in. COVID hits and you still get caught in the fact that every industry you got your toe in. So let's just start by saying, first of all, good job on diversifying. Smart, smart, smart. If you are anybody listening to us right now and you're not diversified, you need to. The second is COVID was an extreme. So the very fact that you got hit, not your fault. I mean, this is an extreme that it would wipe out, anybody getting near anybody, which would take the transportation industry. At the same time, there are some things that you need to be thinking about from an uncertain marketplace. I would say a couple of things is you need to, we call it conditioning yourself for change in the book, but we call it also crisis management or contingency planning, working into your quarterly meetings with your executive team, or at least twice a year, or making it part of your strategic plan. What if scenarios? What if something happened to the entire transportation industry? How would you make an income? How would you stay afloat? How would you, do things like that? In giving yourself some brainstorming time to really start to think about what is the worst case scenario. The power of that is, number one is you have a plan if something like this ever happened again. The second is you're prepared. And if nothing happens, at least you're a flexible and a nimble company that is always thinking about the outside forces.
Yeah, there's so much there to what you said. And I'm going to add, and I presume that this gentleman has a bus charter, limo charter, that type of a business. And I think what you have to do is you have to take a step back and say, what are the outcomes that you deliver? What are the outcomes? And then how do those outcomes fit into other segments? He's in the business of moving people, time-sensitive people, looking at the kind of the types of industries he happens to be in. So then you sit there and say, where else does this apply? Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a counter move because we can all play the, go back years ago, GE. GE was incredibly diversified. Go back before that, there was this company called ITT, and they were incredibly diversified. And then over the years, the financial markets began to punish too much diversification. Because I'll argue that I can be diversified, and I want to be diversified, but be careful that you're not too diversified. Because then what you're doing is you don't have the ability to marshal enough resources around any one thing. I work with a company right now out of the Pennsylvania area, and they have like 9 different business units. And I'm really trying to tell them, you know what, 9 different business units. It may sound good, but you can't put enough muscle behind any more than about 3 or 4 of them. So maybe you need to look at contracting them. But as you contract them, make sure they're diversified enough so that you can have the yin and the yang, the left and the right, all coming together.
Yeah, I want to add too that sometimes if you're in business, it's good to look at markets and how they would be impacted differently. Like government a lot is one that keeps going no matter how markets and things get impacted. So you may want to be in the public sector and in the in the government sector. The other thing I'm going to say too is I'm going to retract a little bit of what I just said a minute ago, because Mark, I was thinking about our business. We're professional speakers, and I said that that COVID was kind of an extreme, but I think since 9/11, our industry has been wiped out 3 times. 3 times. We got wiped out in 9/11. We got wiped out in 2018. We got wiped out, when COVID hit. If you're a professional speaker or you're like us and your industry has been greatly impacted by all 3 of those, it's time to really start diversifying your business, and contingency planning, because no diversification, even at best, diversification probably going to lose a third to a half of your income. And you have to think about that. Can you still function? Can you still move? Can you still be in business if parts of your business get greatly impacted? The key to thriving in uncertainty, the whole key to everything, is really being prepared, not waiting for change to happen, but anticipate it and having a plan in place. Because even if you were wrong, just the very fact that you're thinking about preparing, you can flex and change pretty easily.
Oh, again, there's so much in there. Go back to this whole speaking thing, for instance. We may be speakers, but is that what we do? No, that's just what we do to deliver the outcome that we create. And again, I can't stress this enough. You have to go to the outcome. What is the outcome you create? And then step back into how can you deliver it? Hey, we should go ahead and jump kind of into the topic because we're kind of morphing into it. This is a great topic because I was in a board meeting yesterday where this was so real. Qualities and strategies sales leaders and salespeople need to thrive in uncertain times.
Yeah. Well, first of all, number one is, as sales professionals and sales leaders, understand that you need a plan and you need a strategy to thrive in uncertain times. Because two things happened when COVID hit. You were either in what our friend Bill Backrack calls a COVID blessed business, where your business actually grew in COVID, or you got decimated. And there was really probably not a whole lot of in between. And you need a plan for both. How are you going to handle the volume? How are you going to handle the increase? How are you going to handle the surge? The second is, if it gets completely wiped out, what is your plan around that? So number one, I would say, is you need a plan, and you need a plan for either case scenario.
Oh, spot on. I'm going to share a very quick story. I serve on the board of directors of a nonprofit healthcare group that is established in a number of countries around the world. And we've had two situations in the last 24 months. One was China, where we've virtually been locked out and we have lost some assets. Another one in another country, and unfortunately I cannot mention the name of the country, but where the government has completely taken control and our healthcare functions, all the hospital and our clinics, are thriving in that particular country. Now, why? Because part of the sustainability model that we create is one where we raise up local leaders to administer and control and do everything on site. So there's no people needed from any other country. And it's interesting, but the sustainability model we created works all over. And in this particular country, we were not anticipating the government to collapse. 3 years ago, we did not anticipate the government to collapse, but we've stayed firm to the business model. And it's held true, and it's working well in a very unstable country.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Patrick. So glad to have you from Buckhorn. And Adam, welcome on board, because you are exactly right. Disrupt yourself before you are disrupted. I got to tell you, another strategy that I tell sales teams and sales leaders to do is that you need to, when uncertainty hits, the very first thing you need to do is to talk to your customers, not to sell them a single thing, but first to reach out and say, I get it, show empathy. Empathy, oh my gosh, Mark, did we talk about empathy at Outbound or what? That empathy is so important. But the other is, when you do that, you're going to understand what your customers are going through. And if you want to sell in an uncertain marketplace, even if you're in an industry that is decimated, like we were, maybe like the restaurant industry, talk to your customers, because they're going to help you understand what the current problem is. I say this over and over again. The product and service you sell may be the same, but the problem you're solving changes. And the only way to sell effectively, to leave your competition in the dust, is to solve the right problem. The only way to know what the right problem is to talk to your customer.
See, and that does require you to understand what are those potential outside forces that could impact you. So you do need to be a student of your environment, and you do need to be a student. But here's what I do encourage. Don't get yourself so caught up in outside forces. Oh, my business could get hit by an asteroid. The probability of that happening is about the same as you winning the lottery. Don't bother to build a strategy around either of those. But what you can do, and again, I'm going to go back to this. I sat in this board meeting yesterday, and the sustainability model, and that's one of the key things that we use to go out and raise funds, is because we create a sustainable model that works despite disruption around us. What does that do? That allows us to thrive in situations. And it's funny because China was the first country we went into, and we did not establish that model. And boom, lesson learned.
Yeah, I missed Adam's comment here. I think it's Adam. I am going to use that. I'm going to quote it, and I am going to credit you with it. Uber yourself before you get Kodak. What a fabulous line. We got our friend Larry Levine here, our colleague, our really good friend, and our outbound buddy. The more you know about your customers, the more you grow with your customers. So true, Larry. So another strategy that I love around that I really believe sales leaders and salespeople should be doing. And, Mark and I are saying salespeople and sales leaders, because if your sales leader does it, great, lucky you. If they don't wait on your sales leader to do this. You're a salesperson. Do these strategies for yourself. You can totally control your own destiny. But it's another strategy from the book, and it's called Shed Fast and Keep Moving. Mark keeps talking about these outside forces. And the truth is, the reason he's talking about them is because there's more outside of your control than inside your business that can impact your success. When you live in an environment like we do that's uncertain, there is so little you can control, and the outside forces can impact you. So that means, by no fault of your own, you're not doing anything wrong, but maybe the strategies you're using aren't working anymore because the environment around you changed. And we call this Shed Fast and Keep Moving, which means you take the time, 30 minutes on a Friday once a month, and ask yourself, what am I doing that's really getting me business? What did I do in the last 3 weeks that landed customers? What is weighing me down? What's been a waste of my time? And what do I need to be doing that I'm not doing that could really take me to another level?
And see, something about that's recalibrating slightly on a regular basis. When you recalibrate slightly on a regular basis, it saves you from having to do total disruption when times are difficult.
Yeah.
That's the key piece. I've always found if I can just pivot just slightly every month, it's amazing how I can remain focused. And what happens is I remain far more efficient because the organization just continues to move at a much better clip. Hey, we should use this to really set up the great book that we have, because it's right on the screen behind you. And that is Thrive. It was written by this person by the name of Meridith Elliott Powell. Yeah, it is a good book. And I'll tell you what, because I think it's about 3 or 4 books in one, but the history lessons that you share from the companies you talk about are mind-blowing, because you know what? Each one of those companies went through far more difficult times than we've gone through with this pandemic, and yet they've come out the other end thriving. Why? Because they remain focused on what their long-term mission is, and they had a culture in place that could weather the storm of change. I'm sure you got some more comments. I can't recommend the book enough.
Well, I'm so excited about this book. I tell people all the time, I'm kind of on a mission. I get a little soapbox stand in downtown Asheville where I live, and just help people understand. I want people to see uncertainty as opportunity, something that propels growth rather than prevents it. And I got on that bandwagon because everybody I would talk to, even in good economic times, we worry about uncertainty so much that it actually prevents us from growing. And so I got on this mission to find companies. I uncovered 9 that have been in business since late 1700s, early 1900s. They're still in business, thriving today. And from that, I wrote a 9-step formula that anybody, small business, large business, individual, corporation, you need to put these into place, both in your professional and personal life, and they will help you know what to do no matter the challenge that you're facing.
Oh yeah, and again, there's so much, because you chronicle those companies, you have the 9 steps, you have all the other commentary. And what I like about it is when you talk about a company, you share your insights and you share your thoughts with us. So yeah, it's a book. I don't care where you're at. It was, again, I'm going to go back to this meeting I was in yesterday. I couldn't help but thinking as we were talking about various issues. Ooh, wait a minute, that was that company that Meridith was talking about. That was, you can see so many parallels in things. So
yeah, I want to give a shout out to Laura Williams, really great friend. Laura, I don't know if you noticed, but Mark was using the term calibrate. That is Laura's whole signature. She helps companies calibrate. She is a powerhouse, a great friend out of Canada. And thank you so much. Congratulations on the book. And I love that you ordered it and is on the way. For anybody else interested in getting it, just click through to Amazon. It is there, or visit me at my website, valuespeaker.com. And you are going to learn how to turn uncertainty into competitive advantage.
And then, when you read the book, leave a 5-star review. Hey, time is pushing past. Let's get to the lightning round. Top strategies to make your sales team see uncertainty as opportunity. Go.
Number one is you have got to, as the leader, you have got to cast a vision. You have got to consistently remind your sales team of where they're headed, where they're going. So when uncertainty hits, they can see why they're working so hard.
Focus on the outcome you create, not the product you sell.
Yeah. Focus on your customers. They will guide you through every level of uncertainty. Remember, it is not about you. It is about them. Get focused on them. You're going to float through your problems.
Always be seeking what is that outside voice you can be gaining insights from, not to disrupt you, but to inform you.
Yeah. Focus on your values. Be very clear on what the values of the company are, what your own personal values are, and have the courage to follow those values no matter what.
Never stop believing that you will be successful. As soon as you begin to cast a doubt to you or your organization, you are doomed.
Build your network. It's going to change your life. I don't know what I would have done without my friends, my colleagues in this last 15 months, but by partnering together, by just listening to me, by helping me answer questions with things that I've needed, it has carried me through. Build your network. It is everything.
I'm going to add on that, build your tribe before you need your tribe. And that's why we have the mastermind group for the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year. And I want you to jump out to saleslogicpodcast.com. Okay, shameful plug, but I really believe in it. Go ahead.
Well, we'd love to have you as part of that mastermind. Talk about community. You focus there, and you're going to thrive through everything. I'm going to say that you really need to not wait for change to happen. You need to anticipate change. Mark said it beautifully: micro changes, constant baby steps in pushing yourself forward.
And I'm going to share one more. You share one more, and we'll close it down. Focus and listen intently to your big customers out there. What are they saying? What are they seeing? You want to be coming alongside your biggest customers in uncertain times to guide them through the challenges, and they'll guide you through the challenges.
And I'm going to end by saying, quit thinking about competing and start thinking about collaborating. The problems we face in an uncertain marketplace, even though things look positive right now, there's still a lot of challenges out there. Stop thinking about competing and start thinking about how you can work with people.
Great. Hey, and with that, I want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, consider telling a friend about our show. It's how we grow to help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter, and don't forget saleslogicpodcast.com to get signed up for our mastermind.
And I'm Meridith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity, uncertainty suddenly turns into a competitive advantage. I stole your line. I'm sorry.
It's all right. And the sale becomes logical. Listen, thank you all so much. Wow. The congratulations on the book. really mean a lot to me. Join us right back here next week, 9 a.m. Eastern, every Saturday morning. Please submit your questions. Check out the mastermind. The low bottom price is going to blow your mind, and together we're going to work to really take the third and fourth quarter to the next level. Mark and I really appreciate. We'll see you here next week on A Sales Logic. Thanks, everybody.